Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh and I'm the SharePoint practice head at eDynamic, and today I'll showcase how and why should we use SharePoint for the public-facing websites for law firms. I've been delivering on SharePoint for over 8 years by now, and my core areas of expertise includes BI, CMS branding, and a SharePoint composites like workflows, BPMs. And as eDynamic, we have been delivering on SharePoint for intranets, extranets, internets, and we're also delivering the managed services for SharePoint. So let's have a look at it. What is SharePoint being used for? What are the market trends? Who are using it? For what all purposes? People are using it for content repository, enterprise content management, which is more like the using of SharePoint for the intranet purposes. People are using it for portal and web content management, which is like 66%, which is fairly very high. Document workflows, business process management, and custom applications. Custom applications, again, is like close to 44%, like 45% it is, so it's again fairly very high. So you can see 66% people are using it for their web presence on SharePoint. So this is something which we're going to stick to during the discussion today. We will talk about some common pain areas of a website for law firms and how SharePoint cater to those areas. So let's start with, say, poor user experience, the overall look and feel, the overall UI interface. For managing the branding and the related UI elements, we have to make the necessary changes in the CSS and V4 files. Then also have to deal with the CSS versioning and the new elements we are incorporating. So for SharePoint, it becomes fairly very easy because all those CSS, those V4 files are already included, especially in the newer version of SharePoint 2013. Those things are already inbuilt. So dealing with them, playing around with some custom code, making minor changes, making minor changes in the code. Because in the newer version, we barely required to make any low or no customization effort, and still we can get what the result what we get to see is just amazing, a lucrative UI. And another thing would be maintaining the biography. So in the law firms, maintaining biographies is quite a tricky thing. Why? Because in every law firm we will have multiple attorneys, we will have multiple lawyers. So we need to understand what are those lawyers up to? What are they doing? What is the success rate? How many people are actually utilizing their services for what all purposes? We can cater such thing by having some specific dashboards. I'll showcase those dashboards as well in a minute from now. We need effective search. Why do we need the effective search? Because just because of the search, we can showcase some key words or some key stuff over some common search interface over the internet. For example, Google. Someone enters the name of a lawyer or the name of the company, and then we'll get to see what all lawyers are over there and their stats as well. Some key things for example, some blog got posted by that lawyer, so it should just show up over there in the very first result, or maybe in the first 2 or 3 results. So search and the overall search engine optimization, how it has become easier in 2013, we will talk about that as well. Engaging clients, keeping the clients engaged, giving them some client login thing. They can come over, can browse through the law library, because assigning a case to a lawyer is not always just the lawyer's responsibility. Usually it becomes a teamwork for the smart clients. So how do we enforce, how do we engage them equally on the case so that they can also be of some help to us, so that we can be of good assistance to them, so that we can be as transparent as we can be. So in order to cater to such things, we have specific features that caters to engaging the clients. We'll talk about that as well. So the customization effort in the previous versions of SharePoint, or maybe in the other CMS or WCM, the web content management applications, making changes in the code has always been a nightmare. We want to make the picture look a little bigger. Okay, huge amount of code again will be required. So can a lawyer do that? No, he can't. We need a developer for that? Yes, we do. Do we need to pay him hourly for that? Yes, we do. So in SharePoint, how do we get that in the form of an ROI where we need to invest low or no effort at all? So mobile. Like I'll just share some stats, very interesting stats on mobile in a few minutes from now, and uh, you will get to know like many people are using mobile to access websites, and if you do not have a good web presence over the mobile, then we will end up losing on many clients. Like we will end up losing on many client engagements. Like they won't like to go ahead and open up a laptop and then again start browsing through the content like in old-fashioned way. Things are changing. Most of the people are using like their Android or iPhone or other form of tablets or handhelds to browse through the web content, because that's the easier form of doing that. So we will talk about all those things, how SharePoint comes into the picture, how it helps up the law firms. I'll showcase some use cases as well, some screenshots. We'll have a look at some stats, and we will have a lot more interesting to talk about. So let's get started. So some laws of attraction, like the UI I've just talked about. There is faceted navigation. We have search, like we have got quick finder, form finder, search a lawyer, search existing cases, and that way like the clients can have a look at some existing citations, or this is something which could be some great help to the lawyers as well. Or we can create huge law library where we can have all the citations, where we can have all the literature, all the document work available, readily available, and search mechanism will be so sound that it will help not only just the customers but also the lawyers to find the right resources in no time. It will not just save the time, but it will create quality in the overall case management as well. Biography is like, how do we have the dashboards created? How can a client choose the right lawyer for the case or the matter? And dashboards can help them out for that. I'll showcase some excellent examples for dashboards in a while, shortly. Document management, like this is something which is quite extensive for the law websites, because this is something where we will have plenty of videos, audios, PDF, doc files, Excel files, multiple type of files which clients can upload in order to transfer some data, some evidences to the lawyers, and the lawyers can save some data based on the cases which they are getting involved on lately or whatever they have got involved on in the past. So we will have all those details in a form of document management. In a functional requirement terms, this is something which will eventually become a law library anyways. Newsletters, sending regular updates to the client about like whatever we have, whatever services we have started providing in terms of law, whatever new lawyers are going to join us, what are the new services, what are the new skill sets acquired by our existing set of lawyers, whatever stuff we need to just talk about. We usually do that through newsletters, and this is something which is fairly very easy to deal with in SharePoint 2013. Marketing collateral, like recorded webinars, blogs, white paper, case studies. You know the beauty of SharePoint, like we can have blogs and forum right from the very first day. So every lawyer can have his own blog. We can have a company-specific blogs as well if required. So these things can get catered by a SharePoint through document management system, themes, profilers, dashboards, media libraries. Now we will start a little more detail on all those areas. Let's start with user experience. Information architecture, custom themes, usability, knowledge management, all these things usually lead to an effective branding, which further leads to the customer satisfaction. The design feature in the newer version of SharePoint offers an improved process for designing a public-facing internet site or an internal-facing internet site with pixel-perfect branding. So in this situation, when we are talking specific about the web presence of the website, branding will play a crucial role. If you are a professional web designer, like who knows HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you already have the skills necessary to design a SharePoint site. The new features in the publishing site minimizes the amount of SharePoint knowledge that is required to successfully design and brand a SharePoint site. Improve your website usability. Like these are a few good practices, like what we have seen becoming a trend these days. Like using a white space, not having enough space between elements gives your site busy feel. There also should be consistent spacing between the elements, visual and content hierarchy, important to break up of text with headings, lists, and photos, allows the users to quickly jump to what interests them. So these are a few quick tips like tips like what we can implement on our company's web presence specific to the legal domain. Put the good stuff above and the full like easy to use, persistent and intuitive navigation tool. So these are a few things which can be easily incorporated from SharePoint. Once it's done, then later on if you want to make some changes to it, it won't take much time. Developers can now get a themed version of the CSS that uses the theme colors and styles with a simple line of code. The themes engine has been completely reworked, and everything is now based on HTML instead of proprietary format, including support for HTML5. So let's have a look at this ping pong effect as well. Like someone comes up over on the side and is having a look at the bio page of a lawyer, then resource search result page happens. He clicks on it again, publication section just pops up. You were then brought to a page that features an abstract of the selected article. To read the entire article, you click on the PDF icon, and again another window pops up containing the PDF. So this is something like which can be eliminated, like using SharePoint and the features of SharePoint. So let's have a look at this brief of a case study for a major e-commerce site. How changing a button increased the site's annual revenues by 300 million. Like fields in form were used, email addresses and passwords, login button, register button. The link was forgot password. And 45% of all customers had multiple registration in the system. 160,000 per day requested for new passwords. 75% of these people never tried to complete the purchase once requested. So what we suggested was like they took over the register button in its place. They put a continue button with a simple message saying you do not need to create an account to make purchase on our site. Simply click continue to proceed to checkout. So like this is like a small use case what we're just talking about over here. Of course, like we're not selling any services in specific to a small a tangible product or something like that on the law firm, but of course like it will be of great help, and we will be talking about using the law libraries, using the client login, using the lawyer login. So these type of practices will still come into the picture. So what does SharePoint offer to actually cater that? Like a PowerPoint now is something like which we don't use anymore to create the custom themes, just like the way we used to do that before or in any other content management system. You get much richer themes and common building blocks for customization, a background image palette and font with live preview, and a box provision through which you can try it out to see how it looks before you further publish it. So this is how it looks like on the right, what you can see, a colorful block. This is like a by default site, like how it looks like. Isn't it amazing, like the overall look and feel? This is something which is readily available out of the box. We barely need to do any customization for this. And there are multiple themes readily available which you can customize as well, and this is the way we do the customizations. Like on the left side you can see like a change remove thing. We can choose colors, we can check pictures. There are plenty of options. I have just mentioned quite a few over here. Like we can make changes in the site layout as well. We can change the fonts, and it just gets reflected on the CSS file automatically. We pick up the staging point, and then at the end, like we get to see a button called try it out. Just try it out, have a look at it. If it suits, if it fits in your branding guideline, publish it, and there you go. Let's have a look at the biographies. Over 90% of general counsel claim attorney bios are the most important part of a law firm's website, because most of the people, those who browse the content, they are mainly interested in like who is going to take care of the matter, who is going to fight the case for them. So 56% of website traffic goes to the attorney biographies directly. So you can imagine the importance of each and every biography uploaded and hosted on the web presence on the law firm's web presence. Getting found, showing up on Google. This is something really amazing, like, and can be catered very easily using SharePoint. We barely need any code customization anymore. So Google typically pulls up the first 150 characters in the lawyer's bio for search results, and for that matter, we have got dedicated feature optimizing the SEO. So like, I'll show that screenshot to you by the end of this discussion anyways. So use the right words. Be descriptive and differentiating what makes you different. Be brief. 250 words of anything on a law firm website, like, they're just sufficient. Do not forget the links. Link to page within your sites or external articles, accolades, and new. So this is like a good example, like what you can see, like merchandising attorney, make it personal, make it convenient, make it obvious. So too much of text will make it verbose. Do we really want to do that? I'll show a good practice to you that shortly. Looking good, like the cardboard cutout, formalities opening up to personality, reflect the culture, stance, dress, color, and overall tone, quality, or size. Yes, these are a few things which really matters. These things should be presented in the best possible way, and it can be done along with the dashboards, along with the stats of each and every lawyer. Are rating and reviews next? Of course it is. I mean, don't you think, like, if the clients will come over and then will rate the attorney, will increase the value it delivers for the organization? It increases the value of work it delivers for the overall clients. It does. So this is something like which is really getting popular, and the way SharePoint gels up with some social networking application is just amazing. Are attorney profile videos next? Absolutely. You can link through the videos uploaded in YouTube or on any other platform. You can upload a video in a form of a Silverlight or in a form of a normal flash video, and then can have it showcased on the top of your main page, and people can come over, can get to see like what this attorney, what this lawyer has to say about the subject, and then they'll get their ideas, and it'll help them out for selecting the right attorney for the matter. SharePoint offers like a lawyer profile, education, experience, likes, comments, feedbacks, and a huge amount of features in dashboards. Let me have a look at some dashboards now. So someone comes up on the side, have a look at like what all cases and fees are associated. Like, okay, so say have a look at Kim. So Kim is dealing with 46 cases, and she charges like $340 per hour. So she is displaying her stats over here in terms of the total cases she has handled so far in the company, and the hourly charges. So the one who's looking forward to analyze Kim, or one who wants to compare Kim as a lawyer with another lawyer in the organization, these type of stats will help them on narrowing down the situation. Another example of a use case, the client rating. Clients will start rating each and every lawyer. So now a client rating dashboard will help a new user to have a look at it, like who is getting the maximum number of rating. Availability, another big question. So a lawyer is like totally booked up with like 10 cases. It's just 10 cases down, barely have got scope to take one more. So when is he getting available next? Who is getting available next? So these type of things can be easily answered after having a look at the availability dashboard. This is like case type, where we have a head-to-head comparison of all the lawyers, who all are dealing with what type of cases. All right, Kim is dealing with 9 criminal cases, whereas Clubber Lang, the pink color bar, you can see that he's dealing with 15. So like the one who is just browsing through the content on the legal website, and if he's having anything to do with marital, corporate, civil, criminal, sports, medicine, construction, or whatever, like these are like just a few examples what I've taken. Like there could be many others. So we can have a detailed dashboard created out of it. We can show that on our website, and the users can have a look at it. Now, if you want to, like, if it can be tweaked to answer that one, yes, it can be. So this is how the overall summary of a profile dashboard looks like. So someone wants to make a comparison, he'll get to see the comparison of all the lawyers over here in the bottom right corner, like who all are doing what. You can get to see the client rating. Client rating is also available underneath the picture of the attorney. The profile dashboard also contains the information about the cases and fee, and also about the availability status. Underneath, you can see like there are options like testimonial. For example, clients want to just mention some references. You might mention some testimonials, so they can do that. Over here, like I have not mentioned, like just underneath those 5 stars, what you get to see, there is a way through which the lawyer can enter good 150 to 300 words of biography for him, like where he can mention like why he should be chosen, what all good qualities, what all type of cases he's been dealing with, what all issues he feels more comfortable, his working attitude, and all that sort of stuff. Like he can mention it over here. He can create blogs to engage his clients, and can educate them about like whatever is happening in their area of interest. If he wants, he can mention the name of the clients. If they want to just keep them confidential, it's just totally up to them. But if they want to just showcase them, it's like there is a provision to do that. There is a media library. There is a contact us page. Have a look at the search now. So 90% of companies report that search is the #1 means of navigation on their site, which is amazing. And 82% of visitors use site search to find the information they need, which is again amazing. Like you can see like how important a search is becoming on the web presence. Search is your welcome mat. Of course it is. Someone comes up on the site, there is plenty of text, plenty of pictures. He's very specific. He knows what he's looking forward to get out of this site. So he enters those keywords, and bingo, the results show up, and he gets whatever he was looking forward to get. So these are a few things like which can be catered very easily in SharePoint. Like again, we're just sticking to the basic rule of make it obvious, make it large, and make it consistent. Hierarchical content like practices and services, general information, this is pretty much 20%. However, the flat content, the biographies, publications, news, events, newsletters, announcements, all those things are like falling out of the bucket of 80%. So we have to be very precise. We have to concentrate more on the flat content as well. Searching flat content. So again, typically attribute rich, like filtering by attributes can narrow the search quickly. So whenever someone is entering a keyword, say I'm entering a keyword called Rocky Balboa, I'm just entering Rocky, and whatever names, whatever file names, whatever data types are available with the name of Rocky, it could be Rocky Mountain, Rocky K2, Rocky Balboa, or whatever, like those things will just start showing up in the search bar as a brief level of search. So he can click on, like, he could choose like whatever he wants, and then those results will show up. These are a few things which are readily available in SharePoint. We need not make any HTML5 level customizations for that. So 49% of visitors do not bother to reformulate their search queries after the first result failed. That means like if someone is entering something in the very first go, if he's not getting anything out of it, he will just try to search through the content, but he will not reformulate the search query. So it's very important to ensure that the right keywords are associated with the right content type, so that it should show up in the very first time, because half of the users are not even going to bother to reformulate their search query. So we can end up losing a user engagement over here. Getting it right in the first time. Successive required search query will lose more visitors. First time satisfactory search result in greater engagement. So this is a sort of a use case. If you look at it, here is an example like from one of the hands-on labs that demonstrate building a custom result type and display template for TXT file search results. Someone types in ADFS, and the file relevance with a few keywords or with a few words within that file shows up in the search results. So this is again quite an amazing thing. So this is one more use case on the Google. Once the SEO is done on the SharePoint front, once the SEO is configured on the Google front, someone types in the name of the lawyer, and this is what it shows up. Some sort of a graphical, some sort of a dashboarding thing just shows up on the screen. So one of the new web content management related capabilities in SharePoint, especially in the newer version, is the native support for search engine optimization. The great thing is that all of those properties are stored as site columns, so you can retrieve them in code, but you can also have them made available in search if you are using cross-site collection publishing. And you can set quite a few SEO properties like title, browser title, meta description, keywords, meta keywords, etc. And you can just configure that taxonomy up to the extensive levels. So over here you can see like someone just types in the name of the lawyer and a client rating box shows up, and another box shows up talking about like what type of cases Apollo has been handling. So you can see like Apollo over here is like quite a champ in the civil cases. Like he's handled like close to 9 cases over there, and the second is the sports. So like you can see like what all are the areas of interest, what all type of cases he's getting, and what's the success rate. Those things if will show up on the very first go once the relevant keyword is getting entered in the Google. Isn't that amazing? I think it will just fetch a lot more clients in business. So if you look at it, the ROI is just amazing. All right, so in the engagement, like 2 million regular readers of the McKinsey Quarterly, over 40,000 Facebook fans, and around 40,000 followers on Twitter. So you can now see like the importance of social networking over here. Visitor engagement. So your website is the ideal vehicle for thought leadership marketing to drive client acquisition through engagement. So these are important pillars that resides on your SharePoint platform, specific for the law firms, and how SharePoint just helps them out, getting them created in the best possible way. Forums, case citations, biographies, case states, lawyer success rate, customer lawyer login, blogs, events, webinars, white papers. There are a few things, few very, very good and important things. Thought leadership marketing, the principle of TLM is simple enough. You give away a little valuable intellectual property to establish your potential usefulness to the client in the expectation that the client will use your expertise and services, which does make a lot of sense. How SharePoint can help. It can help you get your company, your lawyer specific microsites, blog and forum ready on the very first day. Faceted search mechanism, lawyer profile builder, dashboarding, and non-techie can also browse through the content. Provides a law library, media library, and the best part is like IT loves it. They barely have like anything to do in this one that can make things look good. They basically have most of the things uploaded, created, hosted in a way that requires low or no customization efforts in the background. So that means like low involvement from them. So, which is amazing. Customization, 100% of CMS implementation gets customized, like whatever we have. So you can say like whatever we're going to do, we will have to get it customized. So customization needs to be like very, very easy. So if a tiny little bit of customization requires you to make a lot of extensive changes in the code, no, that's not exactly what we want. What we want is the low or no level of customization that will further result into a good and lucrative customization output. More than a bio, attorney, microsites. So why do we need microsites? Like what all help? What all like are the ROIs for having attorneys microsite? It's like it can be easily customized, can be easily configured, acts as a repository, can easily integrate, and basically helps the attorney to keep their clients engaged, to keep them updated, have a sort of a repository of his own, to maintain his own biography, let new users know about like what all he's good at. So this is like why we need it, and this is exactly what SharePoint offers for a profile builder. Attorneys, microsites, some again a few more good practices. Okay, so workflows there. There's a new workflow model at the core of new SharePoint platform, the newer version. It is built on the same authentication platform as the previous ones, but it has got a new SharePoint workflow engine associated with it. It is a redesigned workflow infrastructure that is built on Windows Workflow Foundation 4 and brings new power and flexibility to workflow authoring in the newer version of SharePoint. The newer version of SharePoint for information is 2013. We are expecting that the RTM, the release to manufacturing, the full version will be available sometime by the end of October. The beta preview version is already out in the market. It's better and enhanced, and now it's much more able to handle the complex activities, including looping and working with web services. Now workflows are powered by Windows Workflow Foundation, as I've just mentioned, which was substantially redesigned from the earlier versions. And this will further, in turn, is built on the messaging functionality that is provided by WCF, the Windows Communication Foundation. Let me not just use too much of jargons over here. So conceptually, a workflow model structured business processes. Therefore, a window workflow foundation and other technical stuff like structured collection of workflows activities, each of which represents a functional component of a business process. Leveraging existing Exchange with SharePoint. So if you already have an Exchange and you can easily get it integrated with your SharePoint process, documents are stored in SharePoint, can be viewed, can be used on your SharePoint, on your Exchange for the large file transfer systems as well. Emails are stored in Exchange. This is something new feature in the newer version of SharePoint 2013 is like you can designate an email address to a document library, the one that holds all the documents, and send out an email marking a CC to that one. Whatever email you're just sending it out will get added in the document library, so that tomorrow that lawyer is not in the organization and some data needs to be retrieved, can still be searched and reused. Easy access to both from Outlook and SharePoint. Unified compliance policy applies to both. It's amazing. Mobile. So 57% users said they would not recommend a business that had a bad mobile site. So you can imagine like more than half of the users are browsing the site through their handhelds, which will just totally change the way the current WCM looks today. 40% users have turned to a competitor site after disappointing mobile experience. So I'm sure like you won't want to get those 40%. You would rather like to build a site which is like mobile friendly and provides advanced and very lucrative UI to the end users. Responsive design considerations, so like let me just show it in another picture over here. Yeah, this one. So over here you can see like we have dedicated site layouts for each type of handle, each type of a device which is just trying to render the content. Laptop gets to see the one far right. Some handhelds get to see the one in the middle. One on the left will be catered by some mobile application. Of course, it will be a little smaller. I've just made it a little big over here. So this is how it's going to look like. So this will be catering to the requirement for different customers. So this is like some examples over here. Device-based rendering channels. So here is like, say, someone is just trying to browse through the content say on a mobile phone. So in SharePoint we have got some by default options. We can just select the channels. We can create the channel. When I say a channel would be the Windows phone, would be the iPad, would be the iPhone, or say some HTC phone with some custom resolution. So we will have all those channels created. Once the site gets browsed through those channels, the respective look and feel will show up. So users will get very amazing UI over there, because the newer version of SharePoint clearly understands the massive rise in the use of mobile smart device. Mobile has done some nice work to make it easier to access SharePoint content from mobile device. Adding to the existing classic view, SharePoint 2013 offers two new views for mobile devices, including contemporary view for optimized mobile browser experience and a full screen view, which enables the users to have a full desktop view of a SharePoint site on a smartphone device. Okay, let's have a look at the knowledge management thing now. So communication, collecting, organizing, accessing, these are a few things which like the overall SharePoint-enabled law website will just revolve around all the four different categories of knowledge management, like communication, collecting, organizing, and accessing. So apart from that, like another important attributes which are equally going to be important are like retaining the information, automating the information, maintaining the new and the older information, reusing them as and when required, and reusing them in this standardized manner, so that like tomorrow if some document is just getting created, some standards are enforced over there. We need to ensure that whatever documents are just getting uploaded, we associate some standards to them. So in order to attain the standard compliance, we need to have the governance in place. We need to enable the activities. We need to have the component activities driven appropriately. So in a regular SharePoint or CMS environment, once a document is created, the user must generally go through a detailed process to spend some time on the document into the repository, save the document to My Document or desktop or some other easy-to-access folder, and open SharePoint and navigate to target document library. If a folder hierarchy is employed, navigate to the correct folder and, if required, creates the new subfolder, uploads the documents, applies the metadata if not already captured in document information panel of Office or any other Office application. As a SharePoint repository grows, there's a tendency to use a site and document library hierarchy and even a folder hierarchy within a document library to maintain the structure and organization of the underlying content. So it's like this is something like putting a tremendous burden on the knowledge worker to understand the hierarchy and put the new document in the correct place. It also undermines the fundamental value of the knowledge management capabilities of SharePoint. So having said that, a much better solution is to leverage SharePoint content types and custom metadata where capturing and indexing content is easier. This eliminates one key barrier to effective document submission and retrieval process. Imagine a company that uses SharePoint to store some classes of documents like marketing, legal, engineering, personal, invoices, etc. If the creators or owners of documents simply had to choose between just a handful of classes of information, they're removed from the burden of having to decide in which site, document, library, and folder to save the document, isn't it? Others. Okay, so other key elements of SharePoint for legal domain. There are plenty. We'll just talk about a few of them. Content by search. Okay, so the majority of content of a public-facing website built with SharePoint 2010 was represented by publishing pages. If you had a list of items such as a product catalog and wanted to display those on your public website and have them properly indexed by search engines, you were quickly getting towards custom deployment and development. Although the SharePoint 2010 and the newer one 2013 like publishing model is still present in the newer 2013, now we have a new way of publishing content based on search. By crawling lists or page libraries, we can have the context indexed, and using the new context by search web part, we can have the content displayed using this templates, which significantly simplifies presenting structured content. The great thing is that since the content is served from the search index, it doesn't even have to be in your SharePoint infrastructural form. So I think it's great. Another thing, the pretty URLs thing. Okay, so URLs of publishing pages in SharePoint 2010 consisted of the path like there were used to be, I mean, there used to be huge set of URLs for every single sub pages. However, if you choose to use the managed navigation thing in SharePoint 2013, you get the ability to use the pretty URLs. URLs that don't have the slash 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 things or star 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 things, rather will have names like http www.yourcompanyname.com slash the page name. So with just the page name, not the entire .aspx extension, etc. And because you are using managed navigation, which is detached from the physical structure of the site, you can define the URL of your page as you want. So in a way, if you look at it, it contributes pretty well to the information architecture. Managed navigation, I just talked about it. Like in 2010, SharePoint 2010, the navigation was related to the physical location of the page. Although you could change this default behavior by building a custom solution, it was challenging to have it properly integrated with the content management capabilities of SharePoint platform. And the newer version, 2013 of SharePoint, that introduces the concept of managed navigation, where the navigation of your site is determined by taxonomy defined within the managed metadata service application. Okay, social networking. This is a great part. The previous releases, SharePoint and in other content or web content management applications, the concept of a personal wall that could be written on was not that well designed. However, in the newer version of SharePoint 2013, things have totally changed. In the same way, the publishing infrastructure allows users to provide comments and ratings on the publishing page. While these features in their time were leaps and bounds ahead of the previous generation, discussions were flat with no chance to reply to individual comments. These discussions areas were also somewhat limited in terms of findability. Comments were tied to the subject of interest, like pages or person, limiting the functionality in terms of true social networking tool designed to promote collaboration through ad hoc discussions. And the SharePoint can bring in a raft of new features and functionality that tackles those shortcomings head-on, making for a truly powerful social networking platform. Okay, let's talk about another enhanced and new element called news feeds. I'm not sure if I have mentioned it over here, but I wanted to talk about a little bit over during this discussion. Well, news feeds, previously known as user wall, are still found in the user's My Site, but are also available in many of the out-of-the-box templates. Users can post comments, questions, or general information about the subject which is interest to them and to the clients or the users who are browsing the site content. The search engine constantly analyzes recent posts, providing visibility into real-time hot topics of discussion. Users have the option to follow colleagues or site. In doing so, any comments, questions, or replies posted in their respective newsfeed will also appear in their My Site or the profiler pages of the lowest dashboard. Okay. So this is how it actually looks like. If you look at it, use case creating team sites. So this is how the team site, by default, team sites look like in the SharePoint environment. But this is basically for the internet thing. For internet things, the overall UI will differ from what I'm showing right now on my screen. The one which will just show up will totally depend on your company-specific brandings. So this is how easy it is to create a website using SharePoint. Just click on new, hit public site, and then there is a self-configuration wizard. We go through it, and then again, some level of customization, some level of tweaks will still be required. Okay, quick launch, doc search. Quick launch is usually available on the left side of the screen. We can tweak and make it available, make it appear on wherever we want on our company's web presence. We can have a detailed document library where we can search for a document within the document library and can make changes to the quick launches as well. So in the newer version of SharePoint 2013, there is a new concept of App Store, just like the way we used to have in Android-enabled handphones called Android App Market or Google Play and App Store in our iPhone. We have something similar in SharePoint 2013 called cloud-based app model, where tomorrow you want to implement some customization. You may not want to spend time with a vendor to get things done. You may just want to have a look at some readily available customizations on the cloud-based app model. If there are any available, just click on it, and then bingo, it's deployed. You can just start using it. And of course, some core, very specific customizations will not be available, so you will have to buzz a vendor, and we are there to help. Adding lives and lists, like document libraries and lists. So again, just have to search through the internal cloud app model of the company, and then you will get to see all the noteworthy elements over there. Select and deploy and start using it. Use cases for enhanced SEOs, like editing the SEO properties, creating the SEO properties is a lot more easier in the SharePoint 2013. Just need to name it, need to assign those properties to a page, and you are all set. All right, so we just like to give you a little insight about like what we do, like in terms of our services. We are very much focused on digital marketing solutions, and we've been delivering since 1999, and we have delivered for more than 200 clients by far, and we are trusted and diverse business critical project we have been delivering the critical business projects for Fortune 500 organizations, and we are quite versatile because we have been delivering in different services like financial services, manufacturing, insurance, legal, oil and gas, etc. Globally, like we have locations in New York, Toronto, Dubai, and New Delhi. And we deliver SharePoint for intranets, extranet, internet, and managed services. And if you already have a content management system in place, or if you already have a SharePoint environment in the company, and you want us to have a look at it, want us to do or run through a sort of an analysis of the SharePoint auditing and analysis thing, we can do that. We can run through the entire auditing, can let you know like what is the outcome, what all purposes you can use SharePoint for. If you are underutilizing it, or if you are not utilizing it in the right direction, we can do that sort of an assessment and can help you out building the right SharePoint web presence for your law firm. So you can connect with us, and before we just call it a day, like we'll love to hear some questions. So let me just see if we have received some questions here. Okay, there are quite a few. What's new for document management system in new SharePoint 2013? Okay, I've just showcased. Let me just bring that. Okay, so there we go. This is how the document management system looks like. Like we have plenty of document libraries, document sets type of features. We have plenty of taxonomies associated with them. We can search for the content within each document library. We can have content approval. Okay, so the client uploaded a document. Do you want it to just start showing up in the document library, which is visible to all the clients? No, you don't. Therefore, content approval will be required. You will get to review the content. You think like this is something which should show up. You can do that. You have some associates. You have some interns in the organization. They are creating some documents. Do you want those documents to start showing up for the clients to have a look at it? No, you don't. You will have some workflow, some automated process associated to it, only through which documents can show up. Okay, who gets to manage the dashboards you talked about? It looked pretty interesting. Yes, so dashboards are a few things, is one key element. Let me just bring back that slide. Okay. Okay. There we go. So the dashboards are pretty interesting if you look at it. Like the one who's just browsing through the content on our website and gets to see like whatever are the stats associated with that lawyer is something like which is going to be a lot more interest to that person. So the one who gets to manage the dashboard is again the one who owns that profile, and on top of it, the one who owns the entire website will have a rights which will supersede the rights of each and every profile holder as well. So lawyer A gets to make changes in his stats. Well, the stats will start showing up accordingly, and it will first get to an approval stage where the webmaster, where the site approver will be required to take an approval from the owner or from his boss. And once the stats are looking nice, it will start showing up. Do we have event registration capabilities on the website? Yes, we can create events. We can ask the users to, well, this can be done through SharePoint Forms, which is a feature readily available from SharePoint. So users can come over, can have a look at the existing set of content, can browse through it, can select whatever he's interested in, and can vote for it. Later on, based on the votes, the team, the marketer sets up the event. So the event is set, users will get a notification. Another user comes up on the site and he was not aware of like whatever was happening. He'll get to see like what all events are planned within this month or in the following month. So he'll get himself registered for them. So it's fairly very easy and very easy to deal with task. How does this integrate with the CRM tool? Okay, so how does the user registration capability of the website gets integrated with the CRM tool? Okay, so okay, let me just double check. Like I think this is a separate question. How does this integrate with the CRM tool? Is it the same question? Okay, so yeah. So yeah, it gets integrated pretty pretty easily because the CRM is something which is just hosted on our internal system. So it's fairly very easy, and some by default connectors are available for that. Okay, so I think we're just running short of time. I still have plenty of questions remaining. I will have to get back to you. So thanks for your time today, everyone. Thanks for joining in. And I guess like the session was of good help to you. Looking forward to hear from you in terms of more questions or some inquiries or some questions. Feel free to connect with us. Thanks. Thanks for your time, and we'll get back to the questions via emails. Have a great day.